In a world driven by connections, Oman beats at the heart of global trade routes, using integrated logistics solutions from coast to coast to bring every opportunity to your doorstep, connecting you with the thriving global markets through one of the world's fastest logistics hubs and the most efficient ports, making Oman and its ever-expanding operations a smart choice for global trade and businesses. Connect to the world. Connect to Oman.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone across the time zones, and very warm welcome to Asyad Group QHSSC series of webinars which have been initiated in quite 2 years now. During this discussion today, I would like to welcome, of course, all of everyone who is participating with us in this webinar. And my name is Ahmed Al-Rawahi. I am the Group QHSSC Manager, and I'll be delighted really to facilitate today's webinar, which is sharing the International Maritime Organization celebration on the Seafarers Day, which is coming every June of the years. During this discussion today, indeed, it will be truly a best closer look into the seafarers' contribution and the efforts towards enhancing the maritime industry and, of course, into a global trade. All of that, of course, is being combined into safeguarding marine environment, and which was announced as a campaign into this year. I feel privileged today to extend my greetings as well to all audience who have registered in this webinar today. And of course, on your behalf, I would like to welcome my honored guests who have accepted our invitation and to come all the way, especially for those who are coming from Sohar, and to share, of course, all of them in their experience and thoughts. Please welcome with me my guest speakers. First, I'm starting from my hand right. We have Captain Dr. Arifeh Tugsan, the Assistant Professor from International Maritime College, which has now lately been transferred for the National University. Then we have Chief Engineer Haytham Al-Khazairi, the Technical Superintendent from Asyad Shipping. And next we have Captain Dar Al-Belushi, Nautical Superintendent from Muwasalat Ferries. And last but not the least, the Senior Vice President from Container Line from Asyad Shipping, Mr. Kim Christensen. Thank you for accepting our invitation, actually, and to spare this quite less than 1 hour today to discuss this interesting topic today. Dear audience, please, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to share it with us into the chat box, and to spare 10 to 15 minutes in this discussion today to receive all of those questions and to have a discussion. We don't need to waste the time into a lengthy introduction. I will directly shoot the first discussion with Dr. Arifeh. I'm just reiterating my thanks to travel all the way from Sohar and to come to share your thoughts, of course. Maybe one of the questions, as a warm-up, we can call it, from your experience as a doctor or a captain lecturer into IMCO College, of course, you have came across global environment system, which has been evolved during the last decade. So where do you see that education and training has benefited the seafarers globally, and especially for those who have benefited from IMCO?
Okay. First of all, thank you for your kind invitation. I am happy to be there, and also I would like to say a happy Seafarers Day for all seafarers. And also thank you for this great question. Regarding the IMO 2030 regulations, expected regulations, IMO 2050 regulations, and Paris Agreement, and maritime is a really very hot transition period. One side is digitalization, one side is green, renewable energy systems, one side is emissions. So many factors now affecting. Many factors are affecting also maritime education and training. As the International Maritime College, we are also trying to catch these new rules, regulations, and the expectations So we are trying to change our syllabus. We are adding some new topics regarding especially artificial intelligence systems, remote sensing or renewable energy systems. We are trying to teach at least the basic of what is how they can be efficient, how they can be feature officers for the new types of vessels and regulations. How and we are trying to increase their skills, not only hardcore skills like cargo work or stability, but also we are trying for this their green skills, they this digitalization skills. So regarding this, we are making publications, graduation projects together with our students, and also we are trying to catch the latest conferences trying to attend. Today, if you let me, I want to make a small information. I want to give small information about how shipping legislation are changing our how we have to monitor our environment, not only as a MARPOL. You know that ballast water treatment, MARPOL, these new emission standards, IMO targets. So at least I can show you how we know that disasters are impacting shipping legislation without. So how MARPOL came to this race, to this point. Today we are celebrating fifth years of MARPOL.
Yeah.
So MARPOL is raised with Torikanian, yes, and with this accident, with these disasters, MARPOL, Port State, Paris Port State controls, ISM, double hull, tanker requirements all come with these disasters.
Yeah.
So unfortunately we are taking the lessons from disasters. So shortly we are teaching also our students what is the exit. Yes, today is Seafarer Days, and we have to say that unfortunately maybe the image of seafarer is always, or ship's image is always making pollution. Actually, the 80% of ocean pollution is coming from land-based sources, and 90% of worldwide ocean debris comes from 10 rivers alone. So we have to understand that our oceans, this is very solid, and this is very certain that our oceans are getting polluted. But this is not only one-based solution, different sources of pollution, non-point solution and point solution. So only 12% is coming from oil spill. So 100 million animals, marine animals, die each year from the plastic waste alone. So the issue, yes, 10 years ago the issue is maybe oil pollution, but now plastic pollution is really very critical for marine environment. Yeah, so how we can control marine pollution? We can check marine pollution with remote sensing technology. Yes, unfortunately we know that sometimes seafarers have to, or making shipping oil pollution. So we have many instruments to monitor these systems, or in case of any accident, oil pollution, how we can control, how we can set a oil spill response plan. So we need to use technology. For maybe for 10 years, 4 years, we are using remote sensing with satellite technology. We are using by satellite to extract the exit pollution location. But now we can combine this monitoring oil pollution with also drone systems, with artificial intelligence systems. So now you are seeing the oil trace from the radar, but this is from space. So day and night it is possible to detect oil pollution. But every remote sensing technologies, every observation systems, monitoring system, it is own advantages and disadvantages. So now today when we are looking, the most used technology for monitoring oil pollution, or in case of any oil pollution, to make an efficient cleanup operation, to set a correct oil spill response plan, on scene coordination, how the slick will move drift. To calculate these issues, we are also not, we need, yes, satellite monitoring systems, but also like EMSA, European Maritime Safety Agency, they are using drones. And also unmanned aerial vehicles. Drones are lighter, but the left picture, these unmanned air vehicles are higher in weight, but more capable, can carry more sensors. So if you have drone, you can put sensors, you can understand from the temperature difference, from the contrast difference, you can understand the slick types or pollution types. You can make this with technology by using this. So not only for oil pollution, also we can monitor. Now Oman is very open for the future green renewable energy systems like hydrogen maybe.
So are they trained? Are the seafarers somehow trained or have been introduced to any of these technologies?
Now, as a IMCO, we offer this as a elective course.
Okay.
If they can like, they can select these courses, and by also we are offering for new expected modules renewable energy systems.
Okay.
So we are trying to catch what is happening, how we follow the latest technology and exit correct information, how we gain. This is by possible with remote sensing technologies. Whatever remote sensing means, any information extraction without any touch. You can make it by fixed radar system, you can make it by drone system. So these systems are available, ultraviolet system, radar system. We can use these types of things. What is the future? I am also now searching the use of artificial intelligence in predicting and managing marine pollution risk. So what I want to say, for example, for Oman terminal, for oil pollution terminal, if you want to check that your pipeline is making any leakage, or you want to check temperature, so you can use your drones, you can put your sensors and you can make a regular patrolling with your drone instead of putting human workload.
Great.
So, and the last technology I am also trying to learn now with, again, artificial intelligence system to understand the garbage plastics with above the seawater. So you can understand when the water surface is covered by plastic, this means oxygen and sunlight is not entering through the sea. So this means no sunlight, no oxygen. So this is depleting the oxygen and creating dead zones for the fish. So these systems are very vital for today monitoring marine environment system. So my conclusion is systems and with the other drone system will give the best solution in case of any pollution for sea. Preparing OSP response plan to plastic debris monitoring. So this is it. I finish.
That's really interesting. And when you hear that there is an elective course
Yes.
at the university nowadays talking about artificial intelligence, and it's dedicated for the seafarers. And this has taken me to the other question, which is resonating in my mind. We have at the other side, we have MEPC, which is the Marine Environment Protection Committee.
Yes.
And we have MARPOL amendments, and we have many of the challenges coming ahead. Maybe this is a question I can direct it to the Chief Engineer Haytham Al-Khazairi. He can shed a light on the challenges nowadays that is hammering and cornering the seafarers. They do have their own challenges, especially after the pandemic, and we can list them down as per the IMO, International Maritime Organization website, when they have talking about the challenges. But now we are talking about an additional amendments and additional conventions and regulations, in addition to the ones that has been mentioned by Dr. Arifeh. So my question related, how do you see the seafarers on board coping with all of those updates and facing number of challenges, especially that the shipping company, nobody can blame the shipping company because they want to apply and to be within the requirement internationally to be accepted globally and to have a successful global trade. So how do you see that the seafarer can cope with that, and they can commit and they can benefit from that opportunity, if we can call it?
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First of all, thank you for inviting me, and hope wonderful day for the seafarer.
Thank you.
The change, if we see the changes in the marine regulations on the last 3 years, let's say, okay, it was very fast. Okay, when we come that to see that there is new big regulations have been enforced on the ships or ship owners in the last 3 years, that include the BWTS installation. We have the sulfur cap IMO 2020,
Yeah.
and now we are having the engine power limitation,
Yeah.
and the things that also will come up, like the carbon intensity
Yes,
index.
correct.
Okay, we are working with it.
The index also, the ESDC.
Yes, these things actually, it is basically an equipments that installed on board, or data that is required to be collected from the ships every single day. Do you think things like it's an extra work
Yeah.
for same amount of people that they are in the same vessel? Some vessels are with like 20 people or 25 people, okay, and they have to do the work they used to do before,
Correct.
plus the maintaining or recording or providing information, okay, for the new equipment that's installed. Okay, it is, we know that complying with the regulation, it is for benefit of everyone, like on earth. Okay,
Yeah.
it is to reduce whatever the
Yeah.
warming
Yeah.
is there, protecting the marine environment. Okay, and it's totally understandable. Okay, this is for the human to continue on earth. Okay, but on the other side, if you actually see what is the seafarer's opinion on how should I go with it, okay, I assume that most of the seafarers will say we are not happy, you are giving us more work, okay, and we are the same people, no increase basically.
Mm.
Even though there is, maybe they said will compensate for salary,
Yeah.
okay, they will discuss, but as I said, same people doing an extra work. Okay,
But maybe and maybe someone would come and would say that they have to cope with all of those international regulations and amendments, and you know, the updates around the world is going on. So how can we balance all of that, the international requirement and the seafarers balancing all of that updates?
actually, it is not only the international requirements. Sometimes international requirements is very general. Okay, that will apply maybe in the open seas. Okay,
Yeah.
there are also the local requirements.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
If we talk about the sulfur cap, okay,
Mhm.
2020, the vessel, let's say it's, we assume it's in Oman, okay, so Oman is considered as a special area, Sea of Oman.
Yeah.
Okay, so then if it's open loop, it's not allowed to be used.
Yeah.
Okay,
Correct.
so they have to use a low sulfur.
Yeah. Correct.
But then this LSMGO, okay, the low sulfur fuel, is also very expensive for the ship owner, okay, or the charter, whoever is paying for that fuel.
That's right. Yeah.
Once it leaves the territorial water of the country, then it has to change to the high sulfur, because now she can use the EGCS.
Yes.
This changeover doesn't happen with the click of a button.
Correct.
Okay, there it take full procedure, okay, for the full system to, okay, and you will require as much people as possible
Yeah.
to do this operation.
Right.
Okay, that also disturb the rest hours for the people. Again, you will enter another port.
That's right.
Okay, then you will have again to change.
Yeah.
If we talk from the Gulf area coming to this side, they will have to change 3 times.
Yeah.
Okay, coming to the like Hormuz Strait, then
Yes. Right.
Oman Strait, then go out. They have to change 3 times.
Correct.
Okay, and same for the BWTS. Okay, maybe it is easier now. They are not doing the ballastic change at deep sea, so that one less extra work carried from forward. Okay, that's gone now. But the maintenance of new system, replace that, like the ballastic change itself.
Yes.
Plus I have to run it in both boats. Okay, I have to top up the chemicals if chemicals are there used in the system. Basically, can't say from the seafarer point of view that the work has reduced. It has increased.
Yes.
Okay, and but still they have, as I said, they have to comply with the rest of our regulations also.
Yeah, and,
Yes.
and multiplying that by 1.5 million. I just read the statistics approximately.
Hmm.
The number of seafarers traveling around the world, 1.5 million. And guess what? 80% of the international trade around the world depend on the shipping. And who is behind the shipping? The seafarers.
Yes.
But guess what? I mean,
Mm.
we have achieved a milestone here at Asyad Shipping. Maybe it can be covered by the Kim later on. But continue that. I mean, you are absolutely correct. I mean, on what you are saying. So, do you see that there is a voice of seafarers within the IMO, International Maritime Organization, at least a representative so far? Because there was a call a couple of years back to have a seafarer's voice or representative, but I'm not sure whether that seen a light or someone at least have heard about it. Have quit shipping quite long way back, but maybe the updates with you.
No, actually, this is like new information for me. Okay, but we know that there are unions all across the world. Okay,
Yes.
that deal with the seafarers' life
Correct.
and seafarers' contracts and whatever is there. Okay, then there is always reviews for what is the seafarers' opinions basically.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. Yes.
regarding. So yeah, we'll hope that something will help the seafarers. If seafarer one day this like will stop working, then we're that 80% or maybe 90%.
Yeah.
Okay, will be shifted. The Suez Channel.
Yes, it's which channel.
That's the biggest example. One ship.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, that's right. That's
Yeah.
correct.
true.
It cost a lot for many shipping companies to come across the way from
Definitely.
from the other side
Yeah.
of the Africa. That's good. They have now captured one of the other questions related to Captain Dira, who have combined experience between the high seas and the local waters. He is working now on the ferries, and now he's been shifted to office to be superintendent, a nautical superintendent. Dira, based on your experience from both sides, I mean, and of course we have seen, I mean, to be honest and to be clear to the point, the professionality of those who are being audited and inspected on the high seas, and the seafarers on the local waters. I'm not talking about the seafarers who have been inspected and audited and been visited by classification societies. I'm talking about those dhows who are coming, and of course the seafarers are there, and we are talking about also some of other boats and just entering the territorial waters. So where do you see we are, because you have exposed now to a number of places, I believe port of Shanna and Masira and port of Khasab, port of Shiraz. I mean, can you share with us your views? I mean, how we can see a difference between those seafarers and these seafarers, and how can we develop them?
First of all, warm regards for you, your guests, and all audience all over, and thanks for. Let's see, say from the past 15 years, I will highlight this. There is a big jump on the behavior of seafarers, all around the coastal water here. And you can see, how they are behaving, regarding, the regulation of the road. And also media are playing a big part in this role. So means of communication has been developing very fast. Before we couldn't, reach them, to have an agreement about routes of our ships, how they do not, plant their fishing marks all around the routes which we are carrying bags and cars, whether it is in north or in south Masira Island. So in the beginning, we face a lot of, difficulties on reaching those, let's say, normal fishermen and seamen, to agree with them, how they want, their how they will put their routes and procedure on those things. Ministry plays a very big role in this, and also we were, contacting the association of the fishermen's and trying to have an agreement regarding this. And what we can see, there is a big progress in this matter. Also, Muwasalat also trying to have like meetings with them in case there is some of their concern, will be taken, and answered. And most of the cases, now we are getting, very very rare, conflict or seen, slightly, having there is interrupting for our routes of our vessels.
So what sort of a role that Muwasalat company places to educate those who haven't that kind of an awareness or a marine environment, basically?
There is a communication usually between them and us, and also I have seen it, they have approached us, in each port if there is something in concern with them, and we always trying to come to, a ground where we agreed, how they want those things. Ministry is also supporting in this matter, they are usually doing this, seminars, or they are doing meetings, releasing some rules for them, trying to guide them. And media is playing a very big role. Before, we couldn't even, sometimes it is very difficult to reach them. Nowadays, if you want to reach them, it's very easy. If in their association, people who are presenting them, even within, a couples of seconds, if you have something.
Exactly. I can share with you that I have seen a couple of occasions that a company like Muwasalat and Asyad Shipping and other companies in Oman, they are participating in those good conferences and the gatherings and the forums to share and to see also the latest of the updates. And this is basically going back to the same, what you're saying is about the seafarers' improvement and development, whoever available, not going on sea, at least on a leave, basically, they can participate in on those occasions. So basically gathering all of those thoughts from Dr. Arifi and Chief Engineer Haytham and you, Captain Dara, I can see that a progress, and especially I can shed a light on a Asyad shipping fleet and a Muwasalat fleet seafarers. They have achieved a very good milestone, which can be benefited and they can be seen internationally on a remarkable milestone. And this is, maybe I can shed it and then connect it to Mr. Kim. I can reiterate that we were discussing a milestone being achieved by Asyad line being ranked lately as number 44th. This is based on last week we were discussing and we were seeing the statistics. And this rank of number 44 actually been rated by Alpha Liner Top 100 Index. So, Mr. Kim, that being said, what was your successful strategy that you can share, which has been led, of course, at the background we have a seafarers, but behind those seafarers we have a backline of leaders who are making that strategy coming into alive, and the fruitful outcome has come, and of course to transform this success.
Well, I'll try to make the answer fairly short, but first of all, thank you very much for having me coming here. And let me start out by saying that shipping and container shipping, more than anything else, is a team sport. In other words, it requires the seafarers,
Exactly.
it requires the people on the terminals, it requires the people in the office here, and it requires the people we have all over the world through our agencies. If they don't play together, there'll be no success. Of course, we started out with a strategy and a plan, and we had our first commercial shipment with the vessel on December 23rd, 2019. As you probably know, a few months later, the world closed down. So what you have to do in shipping, and the things will happen, is that you have your strategy, you have your roadmap, but you need to have agility in the tactical aspect. And that's what we do. We know where we want to head, but there'll be ups and there'll be downs, and that requires everybody to play together and be flexible in how we do that. And that's what we've been doing. We are slowly expanding and participating in making, fulfilling the Oman Vision 2040 of making Oman into a major global logistical hub. And we're slowly being part of that. By the container business through Oman in connectivity, we can also slowly develop more of the clients in that aspect. So of course we had a plan, where do we want to sail? First of all, of course, we're sitting here, India is next door, it's a big place. So that was our first step. And then we slowly expanded from there. Now, of course, the market is very dynamic. You know, there's no static going on in the container market.
Yes, right.
We had 1 year of where everything went down, 2 years where it's going up, and now it's going down again. And it's a lot of external factors, but we can all react to that. And we continuously do that. And that is where we have our strategic success, and that is what's driving our development in the container business.
Yeah.
Just this week, we will have the first ever departure from Indonesia to Oman. It will be the only one that's doing that. And Asyad line is propelling that and part of developing that. And we already see a lot of clients who are very excited about that possibility.
That's wonderful.
But of course, being number 44 on a ranking is very interesting. But as we move forward, moving further up the list is getting tougher and tougher.
Exactly.
Now, if we want to be number 1,
Yeah.
we have to grow about 200 times bigger than what we are today. If we want to be number 10, we have to be more than 20 times bigger than what we are today. If we want to be number 20, it's only 5 times. And if we want to reach number 30, it's more than double our current size. So the higher up we get, the tougher it gets.
Great.
But it's part of the business, and we know that. But it's the team that's making these things happen.
But you know something, when we talk about the pandemic, especially about after the 2019, statistics shown that a drop by 54% of the seafarers being employed. So I mean, there is a drop back of the seafarers being at sea, and this is, maybe I can open the door for of course for a discussion here. Why do we think that the number of the seafarers, and of course to achieve this kind of a milestone for us, this is happening, and I believe Oman is part of that one. Number of the seafarers been getting decreased. Maybe any of the thoughts that in your mind? Maybe you're still sailing, Captain Arifai.
No, I am also not sailing, no more.
No more? Okay.
Yes, but I can understand generation is changing, and also young seafarers, they don't prefer too much to work on board. unfortunately. And when we look to statistic, the graduation level, when they are getting on board, and also the lifestyle is, they like social life, so they are totally cannot disconnect from the shore on shore part. So in this regard, maybe the contracts should be getting better. I don't know, according to this staying on board. Instead of 6 months, maybe 2 months on, 2 months off,
Yeah.
without cutting the salaries. Then you see the how because people
Yeah.
comes there. So
Maybe the
to
entertainment
make
now,
yes,
some of the ships now, they have the Wi-Fi. They do have that kind of entertainment. It's more or less a connectivity issue,
yeah, it is.
and I believe it was a hustle in the past.
Yes.
We have sailed together with I have sailed with Haytham and
Yeah.
Dara. So I believe that was a connectivity issue, and the longer periods for the contracts.
Yes.
So
Longer
this is
periods.
another issue. But again, what I have heard lately, I mean, was visiting one of the ships was for some work, and surprisingly, they're saying that some of the laborers they're sitting there or I mean, staying there on board the ship for more than 9 months. Their contracts, 9 months,
Yeah.
they are ratings basically, and they're staying there for more than 9 months. And I believe this is kind of a contract that it can be looked at the end of the day.
But ITF or other organizations following the seafarer rights, in case of any complaint, if they are hassled to keep on board, and also you mentioned in Corona time they have stuck on board and also they have stuck on shore. They cannot attend vessels. So maybe shipping companies, but also seafarers took the lessons from these cases, and it will be fine, inshallah.
I think it's also the contribution of Maritime Labor Convention. It can be taken into account as it's solving a lot of issues. But here we are facing maybe not in Oman. Not not talking about the company that we are as Asyad Shipping or Muwasalat or other companies here, but maybe in other countries, other companies are we are facing this kind of an issue, not complying fully with Maritime Labor Convention, and with having of not a good, we can call it as classification societies who can inspect them and give them that kind of a certification for that one.
May I have one comment about this?
Yeah, please.
Yes, MSC is mainly, yes, it is Maritime Labor Convention, but it is, I think you all know better than me, but when I see as a seafarer site, I think nowadays, yes, MSC is very important, thinking every details of the bed direction, coach direction, ventilation ratio, but now today problem is well-being of seafarers. Yes, MSC is okay, but we have to heal the well-being of seafarers. Because of too much stress, too much fatigue, these types of things are reducing the performance of seafarers. I hope this is a good message for the next
Yeah.
happy seafarer days.
Of course.
This
of
is
course.
my comment.
If I can comment on this.
Yeah.
MLC is there, okay, and it's been there for a while. It addressed the old issues, which is like it's basically the relation between the seafarers themselves, the relation between the ship owner or the operator, okay, with the seafarer, or the employer with the seafarers, okay. If we see during the pandemic, okay,
Yeah.
even if the, let's say, the employer, ship owner or the operator
Yeah.
try to do his what is supposed to do basically, okay, it is the joining and signing off in time, okay.
Yeah.
What happened during the pandemic, that it's not allowing the employer actually to do that, okay.
Yeah.
When there was lockdown everywhere, where will the seafarer sign off, okay. And even the people who are at home, ready to join, okay, where will they join from? It's lockdown everywhere, okay. Maybe the MLC was made, okay, to eliminate or to basically stop whatever the uh, like problems that were in the past, and to improve the
update.
seafarer life in the future, okay. As like as humans, everyone have the right to like to finish his contract, then go back to
Yeah,
his family and
exactly.
get he has done, okay. But if the governments don't have the rule actually also to help the success of MLC,
Yeah,
then one side cannot
can accept, can
cannot help.
perform that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes. So that's only
that's
my
correct.
point here.
That's correct. Maybe we get some early questions from the audience, and I may just start sharing with you these questions. Then I will go to the list on here, so that the first questions it's from Farouk Qureshi, export executive managing artificial intelligence aspects of export documentation and logistics. His question is, what kind of new upcoming technologies to be introduced for the safety of the seafarer in some of the region in the ocean? Maybe this is directed to you, if I'm not mistaken, Captain Arfi.
Can you repeat, please?
What kind of new upcoming technologies that intended to be introduced for the safety of the seafarer in some of the region in the ocean?
Maybe mentioning piracy area.
I think
It can be.
when we talk about the safety, it's
Yes.
more or less related to the piracy aspects.
Yes, as a safety issue for remote sensing technologies or these types of things, for example, illegal traffic, illegal immigrants traffic or heroin or
Mhm.
these types of things, illegal things, especially with Coast Guard boats, equipments, they can be followed easily
Yeah.
instead of satellite systems, because satellite systems we have some restrictions about revisit time. But what's revisit time? Maybe needs 5 days to pass to the same location again. But if we put these types of technologies on Coast Guard boats or sea police boats or some fixing radars on shore to monitor the around the seas, so this can be achievable in case if this question is related with piracy.
Yes. 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 Another question from. My apologies if I'm pronouncing the name in a mistaken way. Saida Himat, Port Geographics, fluent in English, world traveler. So anyway, what kind of a strategy to form a new team? Any change for creating, proactive, and generating a new team? Yes, I got the questions. I believe related to the strategy that we were talking with Mr. Kim. Basically, the question is talking about the new generation. Why don't we have a small group from the seafarers representing those vessels, let's say, or companies who are working on the strategy instead of previous team working on a traditional way? An answer, I think it's clear in my mind, but I would like to hear it from you.
I'm still trying to get my head around the question, actually. I think when you look at the strategy and you want to develop a company,
Yeah.
you need to make sure you have everybody in the team involved.
Yeah.
And also they need to understand what you want to achieve. Now, that requires something special. It requires an acceptance of we will make a mistake.
Yeah.
And it's not a zero failure industry, not at all. Because only then will we be able to get everybody in the team stepping forward with their ideas and their
Right.
thoughts of how we can develop in the direction we want.
And to be innovative as well.
To be innovative, yes.
Yes,
And we need to do that. We need it from everybody, from the sea, from the port, from the office, from the
Right.
junior clerk,
Yeah.
because the ideas might come from there. But we might not implement them, but there has
Yeah.
to be a frame, there has to be a room to
Yeah.
come up with the ideas and accept that if we do it, sometimes we will be mistaken.
Yes.
The only rule is, if you're mistaken, do it fast, okay?
Include.
And don't repeat it,
Yes.
and don't hide it,
Okay.
because only then we will learn. And it
I'm
can come from the
Absolutely.
seafarers or anywhere else.
So,
I want to add one thing. I am giving maritime leadership course. One thing, one sentence I like it too much. It is especially for MCA publication for maritime.
Maritime Coast Guard Agency.
Yes, but for maritime leadership, they publish a
Yes.
paper, and it is said that the best motivation for seafarers on board. Now we are talking about well-being of seafarers, to feel themselves a part of team.
Yeah.
So this is the basic, I think, what makes the seafarer. Maybe we are far away from families.
Mhm,
We
yeah.
are far away from, let's say, internet, social media. But what makes our day feeling a member of a team? Yani, this part of
You mean
thing is
you are
very
referring to the team at
Yes.
the shipping company, or you are
On
referring
board,
to the
on
team
board.
on board the ship?
Yes, on board
Okay,
the ship.
Okay, okay.
To feel that you are part of this team is the greatest motivation for seafarers. This is a statistic, and it was from a published paper.
So are we talking about the course dedicated for a masters and the chief engineers, because they are the leaders on board the ship?
Yes.
So at least they can correlate that kind. But in our system, maybe Haytham can share with us, in the GMS, there is frequent meetings. We can call it as
It is there.
safety committee meetings.
Actually, it is not specific to any company. Okay, if we talk about spec, okay, no one was talking about the leadership. Okay, but now it is compulsory for everyone to have a leadership course before
Management
joining.
level, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Before it was, maybe it was late introduced to vessels. Okay, but earlier it was like you have a boss, manager, and you have rest of the team. Okay, nowadays it's not like this. Okay, so whether meeting is conducted before or not, or now or not, okay, it is actually the thing that everyone should give a feedback. Okay, everyone should need to put his point ahead. Okay, maybe the master or the chief engineer will select or accept or not accept, okay, the idea,
Yeah.
but that will be based on his experience, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay,
Correct.
will
Yeah.
it work or not? If it's something new to him, maybe everyone can share. This idea can be like,
Came from anyone.
yeah, maybe someone will add, someone will take out from this point. So finally, we will conclude on something that how can we proceed safely
Yes. Right.
with the thing. So thing is still changing
Yeah.
on board vessels. Okay, maybe it's not correct to name it this way, but there are some old minds, okay, still present, okay, in the field, and they still feel that because of my experience,
Yes.
okay, only my idea will go. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, you are right, because when you mention a seafarer, it doesn't just locate yourself in the merchant. So in the navy, we do have a seafarer. So a seafarer can be located even in a port, in a harbor, in as a pilot. So this is applied as well.
Yes.
So Dara, you can share with us, I mean, your thoughts on how the seafarer being perceived outside the work. So if we can talk about I'm not trying to be picky, but if you talk about the Gulf, it's the seafarer is not, the profession by itself is not that famous. I have lived in UK quite enough. I mean, I have seen that the companies there, and the seafarer profession by itself is a profession recognized and well, people they well know it. But here, when you talk about I am a captain or a chief engineer or an officer or whatever rank you are talking about on board the ship, it's not that much. So what we are talking about here, is it a role of a government? Is it a role of a shipping? Is it a role of a seafarer himself to go around and to introduce and to talk about the seafarer himself?
Let's say it in this way, see, when I started, around 2008,
MashaAllah.
I was
2008?
2008
You have a good memory.
at IMCO.
Okay.
So I was trying to convince, even, surrounding people, like from family, friends, what I am doing, and it
Yeah.
was really hard, How come you will be there, traveling for such long time, what you will be doing and those things, see, especially our market,
Yeah.
You
And
know,
your town
like-
village from interior of Oman,
yes,
not a
yes.
place which is just nearby
Yes,
the.
we are not
near-
even close to the sea, so convincing, sometimes people with the new things, it takes time, like how it takes time with me, when I have been there for the first time, I have to adapt with the atmosphere there. I have to fit myself within the team. I have just to feel like it's my house and those people are my family for the next 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. So I have to sit myself in a position where, I can digest all this time, having the experience that I need, and showing people, that I'm interested, and having, you won't imagine, how much support we used to have, from those people, like experienced people, my engineer, chief officers,
Yeah.
and seniors, friends, whom we are having there. It's really difficult, like when you are explaining to people here, like, as like on tradition or on our type of life, like I have going to be, like away from home, like for 3 months, 4
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
At that time, like we didn't have all this, like social media. We didn't have all those communication,
Yeah.
like, and only are maybe calling, through satellite. Now the pressure on people are much more higher because they wanted to be connected with their families, it's really hard on them. But I see, in our like here locally in Oman, I don't feel, like we are dropping down, like on amount of seafarers that they are,
Increasing.
like recruitment every
So from
year,
2008 till date, do you see that they are well recognized now? The profession by as a seafarer being well known, well recognized.
Yes, yes, yes. Now, many, if you will be surprised, many peoples, are, like approaching and asking,
Yeah.
how's this field?
Yeah.
How's the life is there? How can, I improve myself? And also, like
Female
thanks.
students,
Yeah.
also female students are
Also,
coming.
we have female
Yes.
students, we are having an officers also, and still, coming, more and more seafarers, But this is, I take the opportunity to thanks, IMCO, represented here by Dr. Arifa,
Thank you very
for
much,
the
Asyad.
support that they are giving to this new generation that they are coming,
Yeah.
and all the parties that they are putting efforts, to accept those, like new trainee and guiding them, giving them all the support. And that's, really, even from ministry, they are making, like the life now easier. Even for renewal, the certificate, they are having those, through the website.
Yeah.
And you are getting even like notice that your certificate is ready, and everybody, is trying,
Easy.
to help those generation, to get them in the right track and right path.
Great. One of the other questions I can refer to is Asyad ship have won during the Ship Tech 2023 as the shipping company of the year. Maybe can either to Haytham or either to you, Mr. Kim.
Oh, I will start.
Okay, so how is that being achieved, and what are the criteria? Is it a safety of the seafarers, or is it something related to technicality of the ship?
As far as I know, basically it is about ship management, okay, and there's a lot of criteria, okay, and definitely safety is
Right.
one of
Measure.
them,
Yeah.
okay, and as ship operator, you like your baseline, okay, for
Exactly.
operating the ship is to operate it safely.
You benchmark yourself
Yes,
amongst those top leaders in the shipping,
exactly.
and especially your top.
And when we say safety, okay, it's not that we don't have accidents, okay, because that's something like impossible.
It can be it's
But
a minor.
what
yes.
is the proactive things that we are applying to actually prevent accidents from happening?
Correct.
Okay, what are the steps we are doing every day to improve the safety of the seafarers? It
Indeed.
is whether the safety it is also the mental part of the
Yeah.
seafarer. It's not only the physical part, because human is two parts, okay, physical and mental also.
Yes.
Then it is
That's why I mean Captain
Phys-
Arifei was talking about this as
Well-being.
well-being,
Yeah.
as one of the things that we have to shed a light on, and we have to discuss about it always, and we have to celebrate it. So anyway, I think we're coming into the end of our discussion. It was a joyful discussion, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. I mean, for this fruitful and really insightful ideas and from your experience as well. So maybe a message to the seafarers, whether a sailor who serve on a navy or a person who works on the docks or a seafarer in a shipping industry. This is a great time to let them know how much they are appreciated and give them a hearty thank you. Thank you for all of those seafarers who are listening to us, and all for those who are behind all of that success, and especially I can mention it as Asyad Shipping and the Muwasalat seafarers. Thank you to all, and special thanks again. I can reiterate for sparing this precious time. I know that you are committed with many meetings, especially yourself as captains and the chief engineer, senior VP as well. And wishing you, of course, a pleasant day, dear audience. I would love to share with you a safe moment, of course. Wishing you a pleasant day ahead. Stay tuned for our next webinar, and thank you so much for staying with us. Ma salama. Bye bye.
In a world driven by connections, Oman beats at the heart of global trade routes. Logistics solutions from coast to coast to bring every opportunity to your doorstep, connecting you with the thriving global markets through one of the world's fastest logistics hubs and the most efficient ports, making Oman and its ever-expanding operations a smart choice for global trade and businesses. Connect to the world. Connect to Oman.